I feel like I want to see your puppy.
His name is Spence.
Nina, I was not prepared for this. Hold on, now I'm gonna have to get my dog. Look, it's like a puppy. Okay, so 2026, and we are talking pricing.
I mean, pricing and profit's been my lane for so many years, and I feel like it's still after I've been in this business for 28 years. I was an owner for 11 years, a commission salon owner. When it comes to pricing in your business, it can't be just a guess anymore. It can't be just this is what I want to make. I want to make $200,000, so I'm going to price my services based on that and how many hours I work. There is a component to pricing that we have to know how much you're going to work. That is a key piece to it. But we just can't guess anymore, and we can't go on Facebook groups and see what people are charging. Pricing is based on facts and data. And when we understand our budget, because I don't price services without starting with budget first. Budget always comes into play. That is number one. And I have a 3-part system calculators that we go through. And when you understand your budget and it's just giving you more information to give you more confidence when you're rolling out these price increases to say like, in your mind, it's like, shit, I'm supposed to be making X in net profit and I'm making X. And a little statistic for you, 77% of small businesses close because of pricing. The pricing scenario is that they're not factoring in all of their costs to do business. And that is part of the reason why they're failing. Because pricing is the foundation to revenue. It is the foundation to how much money you're bringing in. Now, volume is another piece of that, right? How many clients? But if we can see 1 million clients, but if we're still undercharging, you're going to have to work that much harder to see 2 million clients. So it's paying attention and understanding your business, understanding your budget first, understanding your cost of product per service, understanding your price per minute, price per hour, which there's a baseline and a target for, which is what I teach to. Then there's no guessing. Then there isn't like, oh, okay, I'm going to go on a Facebook group today and see what someone in Wichita, Kansas is charging when I'm over here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's different.
I had an eye-opening experience with that the other day, which I'm sure you have on a regular basis, but in my world now that it's become very multifaceted, right? Like hairstylist turned, like now I, work with corporate companies and I do this. Did you know that HR, when they're plugging in a job description, literally runs reports based on the area that you're in? On what your income salary is based off of. It's
Yep.
one thing if you live somewhere, it's another thing if you live another place, and there are variables in that. So to go on a Facebook group and to be saying like, oh, they're charging this, but I'm here, and then we say charge your worth, and then we bump our prices up, and then maybe we've overshot it. You started a spiral just from like chilling in the old meta.
Yeah. I know, and it becomes very competitive because people are like, oh my God, they're charging this much and I'm not, or they're charging this much and oh my God, am I overcharging? Like it becomes more about comparison and competition as opposed to facts and data.
Yeah.
And your point to the demographic, part of that demographic, which is the budgeting side, which is why it's important to me, is rent.
Yes.
How much money you're spending on rent is what it's a big factor in demographic, right? Because it's all market generated.
Yeah.
And so we have to know those things to understand how we're going to price. And that's why when you get facts and data from your own business, starting with your budget, and then it generates a baseline and a target price per minute, there's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question on what I should be charging, and it will price you based on your area and demographic. Now, you do have to do research. Here's another news flash for everybody. You should know what your competitors are charging. You should do homework on that. I always had my right eye on 3 or 4 stylists in my area when I had my salon. Not because I was trying to copy them, because it's good business. You just have to know what your competitors are charging because it allows you to understand where you fall with pricing. Am I top tier? Am I middle of the road? Or am I budget friendly? And where am I going to fill a gap that someone isn't?
I love that you say this because I think it's become a common practice to almost say not to pay attention to that. For me, I'm such like I love strategy. So I love thinking outside of our industry, which I mean, you have so much experience. I'm sure you're seeing this from all different places too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, you better believe that when I co-owned a Jimmy John's franchise, I very much knew what Jersey Mike's was charging. Absolutely. I absolutely did. Were my cost of goods the same as theirs? No. Was I in the same plaza? No. So my budget was going to be different, but I also wanted to know consumer behavior because they're just looking at a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Have I overshot the mark where someone's going to see a 75-cent value increase from that?
Yes. We can't turn a blind eye on our competitors because we have to know what they're charging. It doesn't mean we're going to take their prices and charge them as our own.
Yeah.
Because now you're taking on someone's problem and we don't know when they had a price increase, where they got their prices from. You're just now allowing them to dictate your profit.
We have our own problems.
We have our own shit going on over here, right? I want you to be confident and understand your business so you can lead this confidently instead of just gathering data and just a price from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to make sense for your business because your expenses are different. Your business is run different. And so we are no longer living in the era of guessing and having it work.
Yes.
If you're guessing, you're putting yourself at risk truly in your business and you're ending up working more than 40 hours a week. You're showing up when you don't have to. You're sleeping over at the salon because you feel like you have to work 20 million hours a day and say yes to Susie when she asks you to sleep over and come in at 5 o'clock in the morning because the pricing isn't right. You're undervaluing yourself or devaluing yourself, I should say. And that whole like charge your worth, like that is, I stopped saying that so many years ago because it is not about worth, it's about value. We're a very caring, giving, compassionate group of people in our industry. We always want to do the best for others, which means in most cases, not all, but in most cases, we're probably going to slight ourselves. So if I can help my clients and someone says charge your worth, I'm going to say, oh, well, I guess I'll charge them less because it feels better for them and I'll take the hit on it. When we price based on value, the worth it's not personal.
Yeah.
Worth is too personal and we get our feelings involved, and pricing is not a personal thing. It's a very much so a business decision. So when we think about our value and our skill set and our time and our energy and our magic and all of the things, our timing, all of the things that go into this, that is valuable for the client and it's also valuable for us. That way no one is slighted in any sense of the word.
I love that. I love all of that. I think it's so, gosh, we have so much access to information, which is so powerful, and it can also become debilitating. And so the charge your worth conversation, to your point, I think leaves people feeling like, well, what is that? One of my key takeaways already so far is I think it's become common practice to want to reverse engineer what you want to make in a year. Now, granted, like I do that. I love that game. I will sit and reverse engineer the crap out of anything, but that doesn't mean that that's realistic.
Right.
Those are two different things. The goal is, and I can see what it looks like to want to make X, Y, Z, but what's the reality to get me there?
Yes.
And is that actually something that my business can sustain?
Absolutely. And think of your market, right? So if we just based our pricing off of what we want to make for the year, let's just say someone's making 100,000 and now they're like, oh, I want to make 200,000. That's amazing. Is it realistic from your hourly rate, I'm just making up numbers, to go from $75 an hour to $150 an hour? Because based on how much you're working, that's what you have to charge. Can your market afford to charge $150 an hour when you were just 75? And what is the value add that you're going to offer your clients where they actually feel the impact and the difference of paying $75 an hour to $150 an hour?
It's not a latte.
Yes. It isn't. It's not a lot. One of the things this year for the consumer shift and what consumers are asking for is price transparency. We have to be clear, honest, and upfront about pricing, because if not, they're not coming back.
What does that look like?
And it starts on the website. It starts where it's living. And I think having a small description of results, because people are paying for results, right? We have to make the descriptions result based instead of technical based. Clients don't understand our lingo. So that's first and foremost. It's starting off with clarity in the description. Also, a picture is great so they can see visually. But then it is the pricing behind it so they know what's included, what's not included, and where the pricing starts. And having, like, this is a starting point. We will get into this during our consultation, and I will be very clear with you so you understand exactly where you're going to be for your desired results.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. And then in person, it's the transparency of course, the price. It is the transparency of the why. You know, like, you want to be here. These are the results that we're trying to get you to. So in order to get you here, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And this is the why, and this is how much it's going to cost and how much time it's going to take. And by the way, we can't get you from a 1N to a platinum in one sitting, so it's going to take about 4 to 5 sessions, and that's going to be XYZ. I think also don't pigeonhole yourself into a box of pricing. If you are saying 200, don't just say 200. It's going to be 200 to 250, and here's why. Give yourself a buffer because you're going to spend more time and use more product with that client. That's going to constitute the 250. They want predictability. That's one of the other key components when we talk about the shift. When you have a menu that's 300 pages and they don't understand the lingo, it just becomes so overwhelming to them. Clients need clarity. That's what they're asking for. And, when I, started doing hair all these years ago, it was like we had menus that were so long. And do you remember, did you guys have a menu that was like up in your business, like hanging up on the wall?
No, but we definitely had the full printout that was like the tri-fold, but it was like front, back, and probably had a drop down.
Had those two, but I had when I started, it was like the menu was on the wall. I'm like, oh my God, imagine that now. Like, we need to have the transparency so people can see. And I love the little cute printed menus, and that's all well and good. And you can still have that menu because people want that, but it's not so long because it's packaged and we don't have as many options. We just simplify it, that's all.
Yeah, no, I love it. I feel like we have a fair amount of homework here if someone really is interested in looking at their pricing. But really the homework is, if you really want to dial in your pricing and what Nina is saying is resonating with you, which it should be. This is me. I feel like I want to have like one of those mini mics. It should be. I want you to follow, if you're not already, Nina. It's at Nina Tulio on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then from her Instagram, you can find all of the offerings that she has. She doles out, if you just follow along with her, she is full of tangible information that she is giving away daily. And so she will meet you where you're at in this pricing journey. I believe nothing more than how sustainable this career can be for your future, for us as individuals, and the better each of us do individually, the better the industry gets raised and brought up. So
amen.
That's what I have to say. Go see Nina. Go listen to what she has to say. She's a real smart cookie. I always learn something every time I talk to her. And thank you, Nina, so much for all of your information.
Of course. Thank you.